Throughout time, people across the world told each other tales of how they came to be, of heroes and monsters, romance and tragedy, death and rebirth. Mythology helped shape the ancient world, explaining the unexplainable. This is Mythology Unleashed. Greek mythology is famed for its many gods and heroes, but just as legendary are the many monstrous creatures that battle the heroes and terrorize the common folk of the land. Many of the most famous monsters of Greek mythology were born from Typhon and Echidna, both monstrous figures in their own right. Typhon was a primordial giant, born of Gaia, described as having 100 vicious heads that spat fire and venom, massive wings, and serpents for legs. Echidna was a cave-dwelling monster, with the torso of a lovely woman, and the body of a massive serpent. Together, they created a terrifying brood of monstrous offspring. Though these offspring may vary depending on the source, this program will discuss all of the monsters said to have been descended from Typhon and Echidna. The eldest child of Typhon and Echidna was Orthrus, described as a massive hound with 2 snarling heads, and even a venomous snake for a tail. Orthrus went on to be owned by Eurytion, a son of Ares, who together with the powerful hound, acted as guardians for the cattle of the monster Geryon. Both Orthrus and his master met their ends when Hercules arrived to steal the cattle as part of his labors. Though Orthrus was ready to kill the hero, Hercules batted the monster down, killing him instantly. The next one born was Cerberus. Like Orthrus, Cerberus is described as being a massive and vicious hound with multiple heads. But unlike Orthrus, who had but 2 heads, Cerberus had 3 heads, ready to rend and tear any foe crazy enough to approach the beast. More menacing descriptions of Cerberus give him a serpent tail or a mane of snakes around his collar. It was said that as a pup, Echidna attempted to give Cerberus to Hera, queen of the Olympians, as a gift, but Hera was disgusted by his appearance and gave Cerberus to her brother Hades. As Hades' loyal pet, Cerberus guarded the entrance to the Underworld, acting calm towards new arrivals, and tearing apart any who would attempt to leave. Though Cerberus was the ultimate watchdog, it was indeed possible to overcome him. Hercules overcame Cerberus by defeating him in battle, achieving his 12th labor. The musician Orpheus managed to subdue the creature by lulling him to sleep with his lyre. Aeneas and the Cybele of the Aeneid likewise put Cerberus to sleep, this time by feeding him a cake laced with a sleeping elixir. The Nemean Lion was near identical to an ordinary lion in its appearance, if only slightly larger. But its strength, speed, and appetite for human flesh surpassed those of any big cat. Its claws were sharper than any blade, and its teeth were capable of piercing armor. The lion's hunting grounds was the surrounding area of Mount Nemea, where it hunted for man and beast alike. No hunter or warrior could defeat this ravenous beast, as its soft golden hide was impervious to attack. Hercules was sent to slay the Nemean lion for his first labor, and succeeded in doing so by choking the monster. Hercules then flayed the creature's hide with its own claw, and wore it as an armored cloak from then on. The Hydra, who dwelt in the swamps of Lerna, was a massive serpentine dragon with 9 heads. Each of its heads was filled with dozens of razor-sharp fangs, oozing with potent venom, more corrosive than any other creature's. Its breath, reeking of rotted flesh, was toxic to inhale, further solidifying the Hydra as a killing machine. It terrorized local farms, eating villagers and livestock alike, until Hercules was sent to kill the creature for his second labor. Whenever Hercules lopped off a head, 2 new ones would grow from its neck, effectively making it stronger. Hercules got around the issue by cauterizing each strike with a torch until the creature lay dead. When he was finished, Hercules dipped his arrows in the creature's venom, increasing their lethality tenfold. The Caucasian Eagle was a gigantic eagle, black in color, with wings that blotted out the sun. Its beak and talons were so sharp, it was said to be able to rend the flesh of even the gods. While most of the other monsters of Greek mythology terrorized large populations, the Caucasian Eagle centered its violence on only one victim: the Titan Prometheus. When Prometheus was found guilty of delivering fire to mankind, Zeus imprisoned him in the Caucasus Mountains, where the eagle ate at his liver every single day. This endless suffering went on until Hercules slew the eagle and freed Prometheus from his bonds. Another dragon of Typhon's brood, Ladon is arguably the most dangerous child of Typhon and Echidna. Ladon was an immense dragon, sometimes described as having up to 100 heads, full of venom and rage. Ladon guarded the Garden of the Hesperides and the sacred apples that grew there. Like many of its siblings, Ladon was killed after a battle with Hercules, who struck him with an envenomed arrow, and who would go on to claim the golden apples with aid from the Titan Atlas. The Sphinx is described as having a woman's head on a lioness's body, with large eagle-like wings, and occasionally a serpent tail. The Sphinx was particularly unique among other monsters of Greek mythology, as she possessed the ability to communicate in intelligent human speech. The Sphinx made its home on the road to Thebes, where it would stop travelers and ask them a riddle. Should the traveler answer incorrectly, or refuse to answer entirely, the Sphinx would strangle them and eat their flesh. No person could enter or leave the city without being attacked by the Sphinx, and the citizens were beginning to starve. Then one day, a man named Oedipus approached the haunted city, and the Sphinx gave him her riddle.
What creature walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 in the evening?
A man. He crawls on all 4s as an infant, 2 whence he's grown, and he uses a cane in his waning years.
Finally bested, the Sphinx let out a terrible cry, flew to a high perch, then plummeted to her death. Thebes had been saved. For now. There are many monstrous swine in tales from the Greek myths, but one that gets overlooked is the Chromionian Sow. When ordinary pigs are enraged, they can be vicious fighters, but the Chromionian Sow would put them all to shame with its immense size, razor-sharp tusks, and appetite for humans. The Sow laid waste to all in its path on the Athenian road, until it finally met its end at the hands of Theseus, the legendary hero who slew the Minotaur. The final dragon to be spawned from Typhon and Echidna's embrace was the Dragon of Colchis. Like many other Greek dragons, the Colchian Dragon was described as an immense serpentine-like creature, coiled around a tree where, draped over a branch, was the mystical Golden Fleece. The Colchian Dragon was under the servitude of the king of Colchis, and guarded the fleece with unmatched ferocity. It was said to never sleep, never to rest, and never to break its vigilance. When Jason and the Argonauts were sent to acquire the Golden Fleece, they came into direct conflict with the mighty dragon. The Colchian Dragon was only subdued by the combined efforts of the magic of the enchantress Medea and the dulcet tones of Orpheus's music, putting the feral monster fast asleep. The final creature born of Typhon and Echidna was the Chimera, a vicious monster, part lion, part goat, and a venomous snake for a tail. The Chimera possessed immense strength and agility, a nigh impenetrable hide, and the ability to breathe fire. With its special abilities, the Chimera made its home in the mountains of Lycia, modern-day Turkey, where it devastated all that lay before it, devouring any living creature it crossed and scorching the land with its fire breath. The Chimera's rampage lasted for decades, until it faced the hero Bellerophon. With the aid of the winged horse Pegasus, Bellerophon forced a lead-tipped lance down the monster's mouth, where its fire breath melted the lead and poured down its throat, ending its life and its reign of terror. The children of Typhon and Echidna were indeed a monstrous lot, perfectly echoing their monstrous parents. Their roles in mythology are often that of adversaries for heroes, or guardians of sacred places and priceless treasures. From creatures with multiple heads, to gigantic predatory beasts, to bizarre freaks of nature, the spawn of Typhon and Echidna's union reigns supreme among the monsters of mythology, and in the nightmares of people across the world.